History is just a few feet away for two climbers attempting what many called Mission Impossible.
So for more than 2 weeks, they've been scaling this wall of granite at El Capitan in California with nothing but their hands and feet, and they'll be the first ever to free climb this route in a single push.
John Blackstone is at Yosemite National Park with more.
For 18 days now, Tommy Caldwell and Kevin Jorgensen have been climbing the sheer slab of granite using nothing but their fingers and toes. They've had to take days to rest along the way, just to allow their shredded fingers to heal. Their only equipment, safety rope to catch them when they fall. And they have taken some falls. Jorgensen fell 11 times in 7 days, getting past one of the most difficult sections. They sleep in hanging tents. Food, water, and even the occasional beer are delivered by other fully equipped climbers.
Oh, that was a sharp one.
With videos and photos posted to social media, they have let the world watch while they hang on by their fingertips, high above Yosemite Valley.
This is a view that I'll always remember.
In the meadow below El Capitan, tourists, photographers, and other climbers are following their progress. Alex Honnold, a world-class climber himself, has been watching in awe.
Their fingers must hurt, their toes must really hurt, their shoes must be starting to get pretty blown out.
In 2011, 60 Minutes filmed Honnold's climb up Sentinel in Yosemite. Honnold knows the demanding conditions well on the Dawn Wall.
And the smallest holds up there are maybe 3 credit cards glued together, like really, really small edges, like things that you wouldn't, I mean, to a non-climber, if you just looked at the wall, it would look like a blank wall.
It's just so steep,
yeah,
so
it's
sheer.
It's like a 90-degree vertical wall with no holds on it.
Caldwell and Jorgensen have been practicing and planning for this climb for 7 years. Caldwell's wife, Becca, with their young son, Fitz, is tracking their progress from the meadow as the climbers reach their final push.
There's always a slight chance that something crazy could happen, but he's so seasoned in this climbing. He functions amazing up there, better than on ground half the time.
John Blackstone joins us live from Yosemite Park with an update on this Paris climb. Hi, John. This is so fascinating to watch. Is the toughest part of the climb behind them at this point?
Well, yes, the toughest pitches certainly are behind them, but observers here, people who know this wall, say that there's still a struggle to go yet. I'm looking up, I can see tiny dots up there. They're perhaps only 100 yards or so from the summit, but it's still, remember, this is sheer granite with very little to hold on to. Not the toughest part of the climb, but as Jorgensen said in a tweet, it's not over until it's over, and it's certainly not over yet.
They spent some time on the upper parts of the wall. Are they pretty familiar with what's coming ahead?
They are. They've been practicing for this for 7 years. They've gone over every part of this climb, trying to figure it out. They've practiced their moves at home for some of the jumps that they really have to do from one handhold to another on the wall. They know it very well, but they're cautious. A mistake, even at this point, a mistake could bring this venture to an end.
Are they behind you now? Can we see them? Can you pan the camera?
We can't. They're so high up. They're almost 3,000 feet up above us. They're tiny dots. We will try to get you a picture of that. Again, they do have photographers climbing with them on ropes. Now, the photographers are on ropes. They're doing it the easy way, but there are photographers up there. That's how we've been getting pictures on social media and things like that. But from here, they're just dots. We'll get a longer lens and get you a closer picture if we can a little later. They're a long way up there, though.
We're actually seeing a streaming live shot right now. We're getting a picture of it, so we can see them. It's amazing to watch.
John, do you have any idea what the conditions are like up there in terms of the weather? I mean, we've seen some video where it just looks absolutely freezing.
They're climbing at this time of year. This is not the usual climbing season on El Capitan. The usual climbing season here is spring and fall. They're climbing now in the wintertime because for this kind of climbing, the cold weather is better. I'm told that the rubber on their shoes, in hot weather, the rubber on their shoes would get too slippery for the very tiny ledges that they have to hold on to. So that's why they're doing it now. They don't really mind the cold weather. I imagine up there right now, it may be getting a little warm for them. We've actually seen them climbing without their shirts on some days.
Now, this is the hardest rock climb in the world. What do they do next if they complete this?
You know, we talked to Becca, Tommy's wife, about this, and she said, you know, she doesn't know exactly what it is, but she's sure that he'll have something else in mind. He's been focused on this for 7 years now. He might take a little break, but she says he's not going to take much of a break. He'll have something else that he'll be looking at.
I have a suggestion for what comes after this. Manicures. Have you seen their hands? Their hands are completely just ripped up. You talked about speaking to the wife of one of the men up there. Are they getting a lot of support? I know their family is planning on hiking to the 8 miles to the top to greet them when they reach the top.
Yeah, quite a number of people from here in the valley have taken this long hike, the easy way, a long hike, but certainly a much easier way to get to the top, a much easier and quicker way. So we understand that there are folks up near the top now waiting to greet them. Exactly when that will happen is still anybody's guess. They still have they're close, but it still could be hours before they make it over the top.
Okay, John Blackstone, live from Yosemite Park. Thanks for joining us, a real nail biter.